We're about to find out who is the best in the desert right here in Parker, Arizona to kick off the season. Welcome to the BlueWater Parker 425 presented by Jimco, part of the Maxxis Triple Crown Series. Now, if you know anything about this course, it never really changes. You got the wind kicking up, rocks, lots of silt, lots of dust. But one thing has changed, and it's the course. For the past few years, these drivers have known this course like the back of their hand. This year, not so much. Kind of a throwback to the 70s. So that's going to make things a little more exciting. I'm pretty pumped, so let's get this thing going.
2021 will mark 50 years in the books that we've been battling here in Parker. Welcome to the BlueWater Resort and Casino Parker 425 presented by Jimco. Yeah, it was 1971 when Parker City Chamber of Commerce and NORA put together the first event out here. And then, of course, it continued on. Casey Folks and the crew from Best in the Desert took it over in 2003. And it really feels more like old school because the start will happen back on Shea Road the way it did back in the very beginning. Makes this thing feel like old school back when it was the original Parker 400.
Yeah, we heard Ted mention off the top, it is the first race of the Maxxis Triple Crown Series. 126-mile loop. They'll run 3 laps, 2 total days of racing here in Parker, Arizona. Everything from 2-wheel to 4-wheel, the big trick trucks, the unlimited buggies going to tear this track up here today. It's going to be fun to watch them battle it out for this historic win.
So for the past couple of years, here's a look at what the course was and what they ran 1 year ago in 2020. In blue is what they will be running here this year. So a number of the competitors will be seeing this course for the first time. 126-mile long course. And, of course, they'll make a couple of laps out here to get it all in.
Yeah, Best in the Desert had to modify the race course to avoid tribal land, of course, due to COVID concerns, and it looks like everybody's going to be ready to rock. Qualifying, though, was canceled. They drew for starting spots, and this is how they will roll off the line here. Of course, Steve Olagus, still looking for his first Parker 425 overall win, will be the first off the line here today.
And certainly Olagus, one of the names that's synonymous with desert racing, part of the Rough Riders, 30 wins, 7 championships, and he's going to get some good, fresh, clean air to kick this one off.
You know what, we've never started first, and it worked out this way with the COVID and all that, so we're really excited, and to have one of my best friends right behind me is going to be a lot of fun out there. We'll have a good race, and I think if you just watch for us, I think we'll break away from the pack a little bit, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of great drivers out here, and then you got to watch the guys in the back. Harley Lettner's back there, and BJ Balt. You got a lot of people back there, so it's going to be good.
Of course, he is the man behind Team Ford Pole Award, where if you do qualify on the pole, they grant you $1,000 as we go on board with Steve Olagus. As Rob mentioned before, no qualifying at this event, though. So he's able to pocket that $1,000 for now or keep it in the house, and he'll bring it to the next one. But this is a great onboard shot here with no dust in front of us.
Yeah, and that's the key here in Parker. I mean, these loop races, you will see a lot of dust if the wind dies down, as Tim Herbst and the terrible Herbst, the Monster Energy team, takes the green flag and heads into the Parker, Arizona desert, second off the line.
Of course, the Herbst brothers, also synonymous with desert racing. Mike Smith and the Herbst building their own trucks. These things are a work of art, 2-wheel drive truck, but that Gibbs power plant underneath helping them produce some big-time horsepower as we take a look at Josh DeJong.
Number 17, a custom-built trick truck out of San Jacinto, California. Pro-Am LZE, Lucas Oil on the side. Of course, we'll go on board courtesy of Lucas Oil with DeJong all day long.
And what a great shot of the dust that these things will kick up. If you're new to this sport, it is brutal to be back behind these guys. You can also see the flags there. Take note that the wind is blowing, so hopefully it'll clear some of that dust off the course very quickly before the next competitor gets buried up in it.
Sterling Miller, the 86, out of the great state of Texas. Brenthal Industries truck, Silver Spur Energy Services on the side, fourth off the line. And you can see already getting a little tough out there. Track position, huge, man. If you can get out front and running clean air all day long, you're going to have a good day. And how about this guy right here? Monster Energy Toyo Tires sponsored, 5th off the line, of course, multi-time champ. That's the 97 of B.J. Baldwin.
Yeah, 2-time back-to-back Baja 1000 Ironman champ. I mean, he is bad to the bone. That is certainly as good as it gets out here, and he'll be digging from the back to try and close up the gap on time.
Won this race back in 2010. Former winner of the Mint 400 as well. Alex Wacker, 6th off the line in the number 91 trick truck from Decatur, Texas. Camberg truck, Method Wheels, Baja Designs, Yokohama on the side.
Josh England sitting alongside as well, as those guys will tackle this course out here today.
Yeah, Wacker, the Rookie of the Year in the 6100 trick truck spec class in 2020. His first season with Best in the Desert. And how about this guy right here? The veteran, Sam Barry, the single unlimited 1500 buggy. Sam Barry been doing this a long time, and when they qualify for Parker, he is a guy that you have to beat, man. That thing is light. He is fast on those qualifying laps, and he's going to be a player here today for sure.
The 1500 class cars are always a lot of fun to watch. We are off and running here with the Best in the Desert. There's a look at the top 5 off the line.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios, the authority in communications.
All right, Best in the Desert would not be possible without the guy who's standing next to me and his family, Brian Folk. Now, Brian, this race started way back in the 70s. It kind of petered out in the 90s for a while, and then comes your dad, right?
That is correct, yeah. The whole town of Parker is really a mecca for off-road racing. And it was a really large event in the 70s and the 80s, and then it kind of lost traction in the early 90s, and the town of Parker came back to my father in the early 2000s and really sat him down and asked him to bring this event back. So my dad brought it back as the Parker 425, and then we have a motorcycle UTV and quad race called the Parker 250. The town of Parker, they are just very avid racers. The whole town is very supportive of what we're doing. They got behind us and have supported us over the last 17, 18 years. And when COVID hit, it made things much more difficult, and we had a lot of difficulties. We had the support of the town. We have support of all the law enforcement in the area, La Paz County, the town of Parker, the state, and the BLM was marvelous to work with. I mean, we had to jump through a lot of hoops, but they really, really helped us get to where we're at right now, which is we're running a race.
Yeah, and that's great to hear about the Bureau of Land Management for sure, as we take a look at Tim Herbst out there getting work done. And Tim Herbst also has both of his sons competing in the 6100 class as well, Pierce and Thor. Those trucks are just an absolute thing of beauty as we take a look at where they're at on the course.
Yeah, Tim Herbst around mile marker 34 at this point. You can see the wind is calm, and he wants absolutely no wind when he's out in front, but everybody running behind him wants a bunch of wind as we go back to a live look at Herbst and that number 19, former winner of the Parker 400 way back in 1992 and 1994 with Ed Herbst in the Unlimited Buggies.
Yeah, Tim, Ed, and Troy, the brothers, and Olagus, who was out front, had a flat tire, so now it is Tim Herbst who's first on the road, and Tim, by the way, finishing up in the top 5, and there he goes past Olagus right then and there, but Tim Herbst finishing 5th at the Baja 1000, was actually running in 3rd, and then Ampudia had a big wreck. He ran over some of the debris and ended up knocking the drive shaft out of the truck, so ended up in 5th. But yeah, Tim Herbst had a great run at Baja as well.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Olagus early in this race. I mean, albeit better to have it happen early than late in the race. Former podium finisher, he finished 3rd here at this race back in 2017. He was actually 3rd in the points last year in Trick Truck. So Olagus looking for a good run, and maybe got that first gremlin of the day off his back.
As we take a look at the 17 truck of Josh, 3rd on road, and it's really incredible to watch. I love these onboard shots when you can take a look at the track from overhead. Here's a shot, obviously, of what the driver and co-drivers are dealing with inside of the trucks. But, man, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you don't have a damper package, you're in for a really long day. It is all about the shocks out here. You need power, of course, but, man, if you don't have that damper package put together, you're going to tear some stuff up, and you won't be out here for very long. Sterling Miller putting one together here as he's 4th on road.
Yeah, and right now, no dust to deal with for him. I'm sure he'd like to race up into the dust and get into a good position to pass some of these race trucks on course. Remember, they did race here yesterday. Not these classes we're seeing today. A lot of different classes raced yesterday, so chewing this track up a little bit. In fact, Harley Lettner, winning the sportsman class yesterday, told me it helps to run this track before you have to get in the trick truck.
Here's a little info on the trick trucks. These things producing upwards of 1,200 horsepower and can reach speeds of 140 miles an hour out here in the desert. You can see a lot of travel there, 30 in the front and 32 inches in the rear. Bypass shocks, I mean, the shocks and dampers are absolutely incredible. Tire size up to 40 inches on these things. They are monster trucks, and how much do they cost? Well, it is certainly in the category of, if you have to ask, don't bother. They are extremely expensive.
Yeah, and they're unlimited. I mean, that's one thing to remember. They're unlimited, so you can pretty much do whatever you want to it.
There's 2 pages of rules for these trucks. That's it. And it basically says you have to have some stuff. You can run any kind of that stuff you want, and it doesn't matter. But it's incredible how short the rule book is. It's basically a wide open run. What you brung, hope you brung enough.
Former overall winner at the Henderson 250 on the racetrack there. First unlimited buggy, that's Sam Berry once again out of Murphy's, California. Jimco-sponsored King Shock PPM entry. There's Wade Porter, 7th physically on course right now in that number 53. DNF'd here at the Parker 425 last year.
Yeah, he and Brian Hansen out here taking a stab at it. Yeah, a couple of efforts last year, and unfortunately DNF'd in both. It'll bite you, and that doesn't matter who it is. It's tough goings out here as you take a look at one of the best. 8th place on the road right now. That is the 24 truck of Adam Householder out of Yorba Linda, California. He and Trevor Ellingham going at it out here. Has that really cool sequential, the Albin's 6-speed transmission inside of that one. Finished 2nd in the points a year ago and grabbed a win at Laughlin. Had a really solid 2020.
Yeah, known the Householders. His dad, Terry, of course, a racer in the 6100 trucks. Known them for a long time. Used to run mini sprints there in Central California, as we see the number 26 trick truck of Dave Taylor, 9th right now physically on course.
You can see some of the spare equipment that they carry with them out here as well in the desert in case they do have a flat tire or something goes wrong. Speaking of Harley Lettner, absolutely one of the best in the business, and he's in combination with Kevin Thompson. They actually won the championship in 2020. Concrete Motorsports, and Kevin Thompson, a former oval track guy. Actually, he's raced a lot of different things, but Lettner jumping on board with him and has really helped Kevin Thompson get up to speed.
I'm coming up on your right, Nixon. Hold right there.
Great audio there between the 2 helicopter pilots, of course, and that's all part of the game out here. A lot of these trick truck teams will have a helicopter overhead to help them stay out of trouble, as once again we go back and take a look at Steve Olagus and the gang.
Yeah, getting around the 19 of Herbst, so now Olagus back out front, physical leader with clear track in front of him as DeJong, Sterling Miller, BJ Baldwin, Tim Herbst now rounds out your top 5.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by Maxxis, your way to adventure. Jimco Racing. And by Ford. Built Ford tough.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios. The authority in communications.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
Welcome back to the BlueWater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco in Parker, Arizona, kicking off the 2021 season. And there's a beautiful look at Steve Allegas on the gas. He is first on the road, but not first in time.
And here's where he is. Lap number 2, mile marker 7 for Steve Allegas, the class leader, out in front over Adam Householder, Harley Lettner, BJ Baldwin. There's Kyle Jurgensen, Nick Carolyn in the 6201, the only 6200 car here today. Wade Porter, Travis Williams. As we go on board once again with Steve Allegas, the Fox sponsor number 27 trick truck. As we just heard, some issues for Tim Herbst as his day ending early here today, the Parker 425.
Being able to start second on the road, and we felt real comfortable that it was going to be a good day. And then obviously at the start, unfortunately, Steve Allegas had a flat tire. We got around him real quick, and you know, then it was just dust free, and we really just started pushing forward. You know, after mineral wash, we felt a little down in power, and all of a sudden something happened to the motor, and we'll take a look at that and see what happened. But you know, we were disappointed. You know, we came with a very good vehicle. The Herb Smith Fab guys at down at Huntington Beach, they did a super job preparing this thing, and we can't say enough about them. And the Gibbs motors have been running foolproof right now. Obviously, you can see Concrete Motorsports out there. I think they're leading right now. They're running one of the Gibbs motors and one of our trucks, and so hopefully they do well. And then Adam Householder's in one of our trucks. He's doing well. And then obviously Steve Allegas is his first on the road, and he's a dear friend of mine, and I hope he does well. So I got a loaded first 3.
Yeah, great information there. And of course, the Herb Smith, meaning Mike Smith, whose son Zane Smith is chasing his dreams over there in NASCAR. So Mike Smith very busy, along with Troy Herbst as well, and his son, as we go on board here and take a look at that course and just what these trucks are capable of dealing with. Harley Lettner on the gas.
Yeah, the Lettner-Kevin Thompson duo picking up the titles you mentioned earlier in 2020. And the number 1 plate on the side of the trick truck here this year said, we did a lot of testing in the off season to make the truck better and faster. Biggest changes, they went to a 10-inch rear gear. They were having trouble breaking gears all year last year, so changed that up and hoping for a little bit better result here in 2021. I don't know how you can get a little bit better as we see BJ Baldwin coming off a title.
BJ goes ripping by as we go on board with Kyle Jurgensen. And Kyle, the reigning 6100 class champ, now fulfilling a dream of competing in the trick truck category. Second generation racer. We had a chance to check in with him.
Yep, we stepped it up. The Brenthal brothers wanted to go and try for a championship in the trick truck class. So they got a freshly prepped Gen 3 here that we're confident in. I think we're going to have a good day. And we got a little bit of a breeze, not as much as we want. We're starting towards the back, just luck of the draw, no qualifying. And we're going to make the best of it. I don't know what to say is going to happen today, being that we're not starting towards the front. We're typically starting towards the front with qualifying, and we're just going to have to be patient all day.
And of course, the Brenthel brothers building some incredibly good trucks, and he's at a bit of a deficit, if you will, as he still has the 6100 motor underneath the hood of that one. The trick truck power plant, which is unlimited, was not ready and available for this first race.
Yeah, he said we're down on a little bit of power, but it's all good. He finished third overall last year here at the Parker 425. Of course, won the 6100 event. As we go to the 6177 from Avondale, Arizona, that's Travis Williams, finished third in 6100 points last year. Justin Blower in the 6114 with co-driver Zach Coates going at it.
Yeah, unfortunately DNF'd here 1 year ago, and he's inside of a Herb Smith built truck as well. Second 6100 class vehicle here on the road, and you can see how closely Grabowski is right there behind him, third on the road. And Grabowski, a very talented driver as well, finished up fifth in the points 1 year ago.
Yeah, and he was fourth in 6100s at the Parker 425 as we go on board with him in that 6172 Herb Smith truck. Pro-Am Racing Products, Motul USA on the side. Trick truck specs, or 6100s as they're often referred to. Pretty much the same as a trick truck, but that spec GM or Ford engine underneath the hood, really the only main difference there.
Steve Restivo, 51 years of age, out of Yorba Linda, California, with their group of four chasing it down. Let's talk about the 6100 trucks. Basically a trick truck with less horsepower, pretty much a spec motor underneath the hood. These guys will build up to 535 horsepower, turbo 400 transmission underneath all of them two-wheel drive trucks as well. One of the rule changes, though, is they are allowed to run a 40-inch tire now in 2021, so that'll help them out a bit.
Yeah, and on the dollar side, a little bit less than the trick truck, albeit still a big amount if you want to go racing in the 6100 class. Here's a look at Ray Griffith, longtime desert racer coming out of buggies. We've seen him for years in short course in the pro light category, and he's a player for sure. Started really deep on the field here today.
Andrew Meyer as well out here, sixth in the 6100 class out here on the road as he navigates through one of the tighter areas here on the course. Another Herb Smith truck out of San Marcos, California.
And the beat-up 6139 of Terry Householder, that is Adam Householder's dad out of Yorba Linda, California. Finished up ninth in this event last year in the 6100s. And missing the front hood as we go back to Tim Marcus in the 1524, second right now in the unlimited buggies.
Yeah, just a handful of those in that class. They are incredible vehicles, of course, and that one on a nice smooth stretch here as he stands on the throttle. We'll be back with more action here, courtesy of the best in the desert.
Rugged Radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
Ready for any challenge. Axis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Axis tires. Tread victoriously.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Once again, welcome back to the BlueWater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco. Covering all the action out here from the trick truck category, and BJ Baldwin is our new leader as he's chasing a win out here at the prestigious Parker 425.
Yeah, Steve Oligas got a flat at about midway point, and Baldwin was able to get by. There he is, mile marker 31, still here on lap number 2 as we look at the running order. A couple trick trucks up front, and then Sam Berry, the first unlimited buggy, third physically on the racetrack. And you see Steve Restivo there in the 6129, the first 6100 trick truck spec truck there, 8th physically on the racetrack.
Yeah, and you said those unlimited buggies would be a tough one to beat. They are always in contention for overall. And Oligas, unfortunately, with 2 flat tires so far, has watched that lead slip away after starting off first on the road.
Really cool to hear that thing with the hammer down. The Geyser-built truck for Steve Oligas. Fox Shocks, BFG, KMC on the side. As we take a look at the third place driver physically on course, that's the 1549, the first unlimited 1500 buggy. Great shot of Sam Berry as he works his way through the desert.
Yeah, and Sam Berry, as you can see there, in a single-seater, so always Ironmans these things. Let's talk a little bit more about the unlimited buggies.
Yeah, very similar to the trick trucks, though they are buggies. Of course, one of the or two of the big differences is the engine is typically in the rear of these cars, and they do have independent rear suspension. So you can see the travel of the shocks there, 22 inches, and they do have that rear turning brake if they want to use it through the sharp corners. Again, on board once again here with Sam, and we've seen him in short course off-road racing as well, as he ran Pro Buggy way back when. 2 years ago here at the Parker 425, finished second. He was 4th in 2018. Of course, 2015 got one of the biggest wins of his career as he won the Mint 400.
Watching Adam Householder out here dealing with this very tough terrain as well. We go on board with Adam. Let's listen in. Throttle control, oh, so important. And of course, rolling up on that truck ahead of him, starting to deal with some dust as we take a look at Harley Lettner standing hard on the gas. And talked about Harley working there with Kevin Thompson. Kevin Thompson, by the way, incredibly fast for a relatively young in the desert racer. Everybody comments about how talented he is, but everybody also knows how fast this guy is. And Harley Lettner, a standout in the unlimited buggies and bringing all that talent here to trick truck.
Yeah, and Kevin Thompson also coming out of the Class 1500 buggies as well, as you see Kyle Jurgensen there, who really turned some heads last year by finishing 3rd overall in the 6100 truck. So having the trick truck with the 6100 spec motor in it this year, it's really not that big a deal for this team, man. They know how to put that thing in the front.
We had a chance to catch up with Justin Bean Smith to ask him what happened to Tracy Graff, who had an incident out on the course.
Well, earlier today off the start, just some bad luck. Came over a riser, there's a boulder in the road, got a flat, and bent a front wheel as well and kind of got stuck. Took a little while, about 40 minutes to get out of there, and was making up some time, doing good coming into midway. Had a truck in front of him, stopped in the dust, plowed him, ripped off the front bumper, hood, power steering cooler, front shock. So we got it fixed up at midway, pit 3, and they're limping it back to here. We're going to do a power steering cooler, put a new bypass on the front, kind of look over it and see if we can keep pushing along. Guys kind of wanted to call it early. We're all here. We got parts. People are falling off like leaves in the fall time, so we got to keep it going, you know.
Bean's always a hoot to talk to. A very, very talented driver in his own right, by the way, but pretty amazing how much stuff they can fix on these vehicles out here and keep them alive.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea, right? You want to keep running until you can't run any longer. That's the deal with desert racing. So if you have the parts, you have the people to get it done, certainly want to take the time to try and get that thing fixed and get back out on course. You mentioned the 6164 earlier. There's a good look at Pierce Herbst.
Yeah, Pierce Herbst is the son of Tim Herbst and also competing with his brother Thor behind the wheel of that truck. Here's a look at Bill Apgood out of Holiday, Utah.
Yeah, Jason Straken drove that truck on lap number 1. Bill was navigating. The communication cord to Bill's helmet actually got caught on something, ripped out the plug, so they have no communication between driver and navigator, and it looks like Jason now back behind the wheel.
Nick Carolyn and the 6200 category. That is the 6100 version of Trick Truck, if you will, for the unlimited buggies, if that makes sense. Travis Williams here coming out. Williams hard on the gas, man, carrying the front end there. As we go back to one of the 1500 unlimited cars, this is Jacob Fry.
Yeah, the 1501 there, Jacob Fry, the son of Michael Fry. I believe Michael will jump in here shortly, finish out this race. The 2020 champion in unlimited buggy, as it looks like the 58 of Tracy Graff back into the pits. Bean and the rest of the boys going to go to work.
Yeah, and a lot of work to do as well. By the way, I noticed that left front on Fry's unlimited buggy. It looked like maybe he was having a shock issue. But speaking of issues, these guys have had a rough go of it so far, but there is no quit in this team, so they'll dig hard and see if they can keep going.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios. The authority in communications.
Starting the third and final lap here at the BlueWater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco. As you can see, they are carrying some wicked speed out here in the desert. So awesome to watch these guys do what they do.
Mark Newhan now behind the wheel, the number 27. Steve Olligus jumps out, and he is your new physical leader on the racetrack. And you can see clear track in front of him. He's going to like that here on this final 126-mile lap. Here's a look at the running order with householder Kevin Thompson down behind the wheel, the number 1 as Lettner jumps out. B.J. Baldwin and Kyle Jurgensen with that 6100 spec engine still holding on to the top 5.
Yeah, and the first 6200 car there inside of the top 10 on the road as well. And Mark Newhan out of Santee, California, as you talked about, taking over the driving duties on the 27 Trick Truck with Steve Olligus stepping out.
I mentioned Olligus was third in Trick Truck points last year. He was also third in the Maxxis Triple Crown points, and that kicks off 2021 here as well, as we heard Ted Brunson mention. Back to Adam Householder, currently second physically on the racetrack. Got his first Trick Truck win way back at Silver State a handful of years ago. Also won Trick Truck at the Henderson 250. So we go on board with KT Kevin Thompson, your defending Trick Truck champ.
Yeah, 3 second-place finishes a year ago for the Concrete Motorsports team. They are extremely good, and Kevin Thompson has very talented. Hangs it out right there, man. Pretty cool stuff. Everybody comments on how fast Kevin Thompson is. Well, unfortunately for B.J. Baldwin, who was leading overall, he has since had some issues, and we had a chance to catch up with the crew chief to find out what's going on.
We've been having communication problems all day. We lost communication right off the line. So we've been running the entire race with, he cannot hear us, we can hear him intermittently. So we think an intercom went down. First lap was perfectly clean, no flats or anything. Second lap, they had 2 flats, so it's put us down. We were leading first on the road, now we're not. We also had to add oil this round. We consumed a few quarts, and we got to figure out why we were getting some flats.
Yeah, and any number of reasons out here in the desert, of course, but they will definitely ruin your day if you get too many of those things. You can see a couple of spares on the back of the truck as well. I'm guessing they refresh those whenever they get to the pits. take the old ones off, put some new ones on there, and send them back out, but all that time lost. And these guys can bail out of these trucks, as we watch Kyle Jurgensen once again, but these guys will bail out of these trucks and change a flat in an incredibly quick amount of time. It's amazing how good they are out here.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's just the navigator that'll jump out and change it, and you're talking 5-8 minutes if everything goes good. They can get those things changed. I mean, obviously, if you stop in some silt or you have some very soft desert out here, it can be tough to get those things jacked up. As we go and take a look at the 6,200 car, 6th place on track. That's Connor McMullen taking over for Nick Carolyn. McMullen, of course, picking up the Class 1000 buggy title last year.
Yeah, of course, leading that 6,200 class as well, having a great run out here inside of the top 10 on the road.
Spec Engine Unlimited, open wheel buggies, sealed Ford or GM engines, much like the 6100 Trick Truck Spec. Here's a look at the leader in 6100 right now. That's Justin Blower, Zach Coates. Second year those guys have ran this Herb Smith truck. Only did a handful of races last year. Plan on chasing points here in 2021.
Great overhead shot there. The guys up there in the helicopter, the Lucas Oil eye in the sky, giving us some great overhead shots as we watch Dustin Grabowski just hanging it out, man. Beautiful stuff here in the 6100 class.
Yeah, it looks crazy to watch him do it, but for them, it's just another day at the office, man. We go on board with him and co-driver Cody Woodruff to see what they see.
Yeah, and we heard about, Bean talking about Tracy Graff running into people or somebody running into him, and you can see how easily that could happen. I mean, anybody broken out there and you drive into a dust cloud like that, it is easy to hit them, and that's also how you can get a flat tire. You kick the back of the truck out like that, smack a rock or something, and boom, bent wheel, flat tire, and you find yourself on the side making repairs.
A&G Motorsports, guys are built 6153 of Downey, California's Ray Griffith, the Maxxis Triple Crown champ from 1 year ago. Won by 16.5 seconds over Kyle Jurgensen. Parker 425, Vegas to Reno, and BlueWater Desert Challenge makes up the Maxxis Triple Crown.
Mike Fry now in behind the wheel after Jacob Fry has stepped out inside of the 1501. Really rocky area right there.
Yeah, multi-time desert champ. As Michael Fry going to try and bring this one home to a good finish. Chris Miner, the other unlimited buggy here out of Manchester, California, currently second in that class. Looking to finish out the day strong here in Parker.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back on the other side.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by VP Racing Fuels, making power. K&N, superior airflow, superior performance. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios, the authority in communications.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
Getting close to wrapping this one up here at the BlueWater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco. Kevin Thompson is our leader on the track. Of course, the reigning champ from 2020. This would be his first win here at Parker in the trick truck category if he can hang on and finish it up.
Yeah, real close to the end. You can see mile marker 121, so about 5 miles to go here on the final lap for Kevin Thompson. Took over for Harley Lettner here on lap number 3. Stopped at pit 1 to get some tires. They said they had some sensors kind of go crazy, actually hit a rock. So it was a good idea to get some tires, and we'll see if he can bring it on here in the last few miles. Meanwhile, Adam Householder, second place on track in that number 24.
Yeah, and Householder finishing all the races 1 year ago, finished up second in the points, but DNF'd here at Parker, so looking to better that one by a bunch here today as we go back and take a look at Kyle Jorgensen, third place on track with that 6100 power plant underneath the hood. I mean, he's given up a minimum of 250, 300 horsepower, and in some cases, giving up the better part of 500 to 600 horsepower.
Yeah, doing a great job for sure, as well as Connor McMullen in the only 6200 class car here today. Jumping in for Carolyn here on this final lap as we go on board now with Justin Blower out of San Clemente in the 6114.
Still focused there as he reaches down for the shifter. Outboard look there at Justin Blower in the 6100 class.
Yeah, he told me him and Zach Coates really been building their trust and communication to get better and better out on race course. No real changes on the truck from 2020. Just looking for a championship here this year.
And we go back and take a look at Dustin Grabowski as well. And these two guys, by the way, extremely close in time. This is going to be a great battle right down to the finish line. Grabowski also prepping for the King of the Hammers event as well, so they've been very busy at their shop. And Kevin Thompson across the stripe. He is the truck to beat Travis Williams, third place in the 6100 class. Once again, those things are pretty much like a trick truck. All the suspension, the truck itself, but just less horsepower. So very, very complex pieces of machinery.
And now Adam Householder will cross the stripe. Second vehicle to do so as he tries to run down Kevin Thompson. That will wrap up his run at this year's Parker 425. Good day for the 24 trick truck.
Yeah, nice to get across the stripe after a tough 2020 out here at Parker. Kelly MacArthur now. Co-driver Keith Smith. Once again in the trick truck category there, number 75. Guys coming out of Pomona, California.
Yeah, another Brenthel Industries truck as Kevin Thompson stops on the race course, gets the high fives, or will get the high fives from the team. A little bit of aesthetic damage there. It's all good.
Small price to pay. These things, 650 grand turnkey if you want to go get one from the Herb Smith gang. So they are not cheap, but boy, are they tough. Once again, we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back and we'll watch some more people make it across the stripe here at Parker.
Rugged Radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep the radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
Ready for any challenge. Maxxis tires can handle even the most punishing off-road conditions. Maxxis tires. Tread victoriously.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
The Best in the Desert series is brought to you by Maxxis, your way to adventure. Optima Batteries, your ultimate power source. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
And once again, welcome back to the BlueWater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco. You're watching Kyle Jurgensen there, who is currently third in the trick truck category. Our winner has already crossed the stripe. Congratulations to Kevin Thompson. Let's go down and hear from him.
Kevin, you drew 16th, started 13th. What a hell of a run, man. Talk about this course today and how you made such time up.
Well, this truck, start with that. This Joe Gibbs motor, the Herb Spick truck is incredibly fast. So Harley gave it to me, and I don't know, physically fourth or something, fourth or fifth, and we just love this course. And we had a great year, had a couple little ups and downs, but had at the end of the year, obviously number one, which is just a dream come true, and started off with a win. I mean, we finished, I think, physically first from 13th or whatever it was. I mean, it's just blown away. We're incredible.
Yeah, those guys picking up right where they left off, man. No doubt that team is gelling as we watch Connor McMullen continue to push hard towards that finish line. The next one down there at the podium, however, is going to be Adam Householder with a great run after a DNF in 2020, and now comes across in second.
Starting off this race, it was dusty as can be, and it makes it very difficult because you have to avoid all the rocks, make sure you don't take your truck out within the first lap. So we kept our nose clean the first lap, and just kept moving up. You know, people having issues, and we just kept running a good fast pace, and we were leading on time, leading physical towards the end, and had a tire go down. You know, it's one of those things that happens here. This track's hard on tires. And the last 15 miles, man, I lost it. But it's all good. We ended up second. It's a good way to start the season. We finished second in points last year. I mean, so we have a good head of steam going into this year. So we're going to make 2021 our year.
And from Adam, we'll move over to his dad, Terry Householder, in the 6139, as he's currently a 7th in that class on track. A great day, though the truck looks a little bit beat up. We'll get it back down to the podium.
We're very excited about it. It's a brand new class. We've been believing in it for a little while, and it's finally about to get going. We finally teamed up with the McMullins here, and now we got the right package. So,
like I said, you know, this car, you know, it was rough, but the way this car is built, and yeah, you know, the first 2 laps, you know, him giving me a car on the 3rd lap to be able to go out and, you know, run conservative, stay clean, no flats, you know, just go out and run it hard, and, you know, let's get this thing around and get it up on the podium.
Great drive by those guys here today to kick off 2021, as we'll see the 9th vehicle on track, trick truck number 26, driven by Dave Taylor. Justin Blower with a good run here today, first across in 6100.
Yeah, no, today was a good day. We actually had no idea where we were on the course until, you know, about 15 minutes ago. We heard Todd call out 14 seconds, got to make up 14 seconds, so it was game on at that point. We were following some dust, a trophy truck, but you know, we just pushed this truck as hard as we could all day, and everything was flawless.
Yeah, Blower and Grabowski definitely putting on a show out here as they battled hard for the win in that 6100 class. Once again, we'll go back down to the podium with Ted Brunson.
Tried to make the passes to get first overall, but it was a little bit too dusty. So the last couple pits, they kept telling me I was first and didn't need to make any passes. So I just kind of sat back and just kind of followed Justin to the finish, since I knew I was ahead of him on time. So I just kind of cruised behind him right out of his dust, so I didn't hit any rocks and get any flats. No, we had no major difficulties. We had some little overheating problems that caused us to slow down the last lap, but besides that, truck was perfect.
By the way, the difference in time between first and second in that category was less than 1 minute, so he made it sound like it was a nice, relaxed cruise there to the finish line, but it was anything but.
A lot of moral support. We lost the GPS on the first lap, so my co-dog was just telling me what he could see too, which helped confirm. You know, he was looking at a different spot than I was, so definitely helped me out. Yeah, luckily we didn't have to get out of the car today. Everything ran well. Thanks to JBS Motorsports, Graf Racing for helping us out, letting them pit with them. It's just a good day for us. To be honest with you, this is our first ever Class 1 win in Best in the Desert.
Yeah, great job by Michael Fry, who DNF'd in this event 1 year ago to get the win here to kick off 2021 as we look at your top 20 overall finish here with Kevin Thompson by about 10 minutes over Adam Householder.
Yeah, and I would urge you to look at 5th and 6th place, those two 6100 trucks, and look at the time there. As we talked about before, less than 1 minute between the two. What a great battle out here over the course of this tough terrain.
And really a great weekend, man. All the Best of the Desert officials, the BLM, everyone doing everything they could to get this race in, and all these racers for showing up here today. Here's a look at the Trick Truck points with one race in the books here in 2021.
Yeah, Kevin Thompson and that Concrete Motorsports team off to a great start here, looking to go back-to-back. Here's a look at the points in the 6100 class.
The 6172 of Dustin Grabowski on top of Justin Blower there. 4-point lead after today's Parker 425. And some of the class winners from the race held here yesterday. Wheeler Morgan taking home the win in the 1000 class. Driver out of Brawley, California, put on a pretty good show. Second place was Andrew Yurcho in the 1000 class. In that 1042, and it was Jeremy Davis rounding out your podium in the 1085. There he is as he finished in third.
And the 10-car class just rips out here in the desert. So much fun. If you want to get out here and make a run at it, well, maybe the 5,000 class is more your style. Kate Garcia came out here and made it work, and you can see how much suspension those cars have inside of them as he was the first one across the stripe in that category. Party in the Grabowski pits here tonight between Troy and Dustin. Two great runs as Troy finished up second here in the 5,000 class. Flying those Subaru colors.
And here's a look at the overall results with two 1,000 cars out in front, a pair of 5,000 class cars running third and fourth. Jeremy Davis rounding out your top 5 overall for the event here yesterday in the Parker 425. Good run by a lot of those drivers as we had Greg Bragg, the former ace Central California sprint car and micro racer in the Trophy Light class, getting it done as he took home the win.
So many different categories out here. Something for everybody for sure, as Dave Taylor also had a great run out here during the Parker 425, finished up in second. Larry Schmeiser as well out there inside of the top 3.
So here's a look at the Trophy Light results with Bragg beating Taylor by just over a minute. Very close at the finish line.
Yeah, it's incredible that they can be out there, run as far as they run on these courses, and then end up as close as they do, knowing all the obstacles they had to overcome. Let's take a look at the results here in our Jeep Speed class with Larry Trim out front, the class winner.
Yeah, nice run for Larry Trim. We also saw Jerry Simonson finish up with the win in the 3,700 category here.
Clearly, you can see they just do not have the suspension of the big boys. Consequently, does not cost them as much, but they can come out here and have just as much fun. You just got to back it down a little bit. There's a look at the times and the results for everybody here in the Jeep Speed class. Congratulations on the effort for sure. You make it across the stripe, it's a pretty good day. We want to thank all of our sponsors for everything that they've done to help us keep this tradition alive. As we talked about before, the first run out here in Parker back in 1971. There were a couple of years that were off, but all in all, a good 50-year run, and we appreciate everything that everybody has done. The BLM, a pleasure to work with, and all of the staff, what they've done is incredible. And of course, we have to thank all of our racers coming out here, hanging it out, and putting on a great show. Hope you enjoyed all the great racing action as well. For Ted Brunson and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. Thanks for watching the Best in the Desert series.